Welcome to our next module where we're going to discuss the employee section, and we're going to look at the basic ways that we can search for an employee and look at some of the basic navigational tools. So let's click on the employee tab, and we're going to be looking for a criteria to be able to search for our employees. Well, most of our employees will access and use this employee section to view their time card screens, calendars, clockings, requests, and other employee related information. But you as a supervisor and a manager, you have rights to view other employees who are entered in to your section. So you can view by the employee's last name, first name, and or codes. I can also click on the advanced section and look at additional fields that I can use to, again, narrow down my search. And you'll see that they're listed under the general, the labor distribution, and classification. But if I want to go back to my basic search, several different ways that I can search for something. One of the easiest ways to search for an employee is to just do a word search, a blank search by clicking search, and this will list all the employees that are in your department or in your area. From here, you can adjust the way it's viewed, sorting by first name, last name, codes, login information as well. Again, if I want to look at a certain employee, one of the easiest ways to do is to click on the folder out beside those employees, and that's going to open that particular employee. So I want to look at Sandy Kingsley. So I'm going to click on Open the Folder, and it's going to take me to a section of her time card screen that I want to look at. On this left-hand side, you're going to notice grayed out is marked TCS, or time card screen. And this will be one of the sections that we'll be talking about in a further module. Well, let's go back up to the top and look at the Employee Navigator section so that you'll know where you are within the screen. The first part here where it talks about employee 8 of 11, so that's telling you that you have 11 employees in your section, and she's number 8. You can navigate between your employees by using the forward or backwards arrow here, which tells you who the preceding employee is in either direction. So by simply navigating, I can see that I'm on Harold, or going back to Sandy, or going one forward to Kirk. And this is the preferred method as opposed to using your backwards and forward arrow button that we're accustomed to using. You're also going to notice the employee ID number, and you're going to notice an icon here that looks like a white sheet of paper. And this is basically going to tell you that her employee record has not been finalized at this point in time. It's going to show you the pay period. It's going to show you the default pay period that you're currently in. But you can also use your drop-down bar and look at the previous pay period or one pay period into the future if you wanted to look at. But it will default to being the pay period that you're in. The next section I want to spend some time with is the transaction list items. In this section, you're going to see a number of different items that are already checked. And this is basically a filtering device for you. So you'll notice that we have our calendars, our clockings, adjustments, all of these things that are selected. So that means that we're viewing all of these. But if I only want to look at someone's time in and time out, I could unselect calendars. Now in my middle center pane, I'm going to be only looking at the time in and time out. This will be easy and important as we start to try to figure out what are the critical exceptions and the adjustments that need to be done. If I only wanted to look at calendars, schedules, or PTO requests, then I could unselect clockings and being able to look at only calendar type events. If I scroll down the page just a little further, the next section is the transaction list items. Again, some additional things that will be covered here about how to approve, delete, or deny, or pending request. Under the employee favorites, a couple things that we want to draw your attention to. As a manager and supervisor, anytime that you're making changes to a record and that you want to go ahead and to calculate that change so that you can see it immediately, you'll want to look at this red Calc Me Now button. That's going to become your favorite friend to actually be able to see your actions in real time for you. You're going to look at an add calendar and add clocking in green. We'll cover those in another module. You'll also see this approved time card in yellow. Notice in the current way it is actually grayed out, meaning that we're not able to approve this at this point in time. The reason is, if I will go back and look at clockings, I'm going to notice that for Sandy, she has an exception. An odd clocking was detected. So I can't approve her time card at this point in time. It's defaulted as being on the TCS, the time card screen, but I could also look at a monthly view. And by looking at the monthly view, I'm going to see more of a traditional calendar effect of what would be going on there with Sandy.